Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Patty's World. I'm back. I'm back home. I was over 25 days traveling in Europe. I had a wonderful time. Came back a little sick with some new awakenings, a new downloads. What is it? Mental downloads regarding manifestation and law of assumption and really living your dream life. But it's always good to be back home, traveling, seeing new places. I love it. Had a great time with my husband. It's always good to be back home and rest. And I did have to catch up. I did have to catch up on sleep and rest and was jet lagged. So it's good to be back for those of you that were watching my videos and seeing the places that I was visiting, some amazing, beautiful places, beautiful locations, so much history in Europe. I had an incredible time. And thank you for always staying in touch with me. And I tried to post consistently, but most of the time we're going, going, going. And I needed to remind myself to slow down because when I'm mentally fatigued, translates into physical fatigue, and then it opens myself up to not feeling 100%. And I always have to remember to fill my own cup now. And that is a reminder to you as well, that we always have to fill our own cup. It's not other people's job to make us feel better or make us happy or do hoop jumping or cartwheels to make us happy. We fill our own cup. And from that place of empowerment, we're able to give to others. But I always need some time for myself, by myself, to recharge and reconnect and just to release anything. So I did that for the last 3 days and wanted to make sure now that I'm feeling better to post a video and address a couple of things. Several new thoughts that I had about manifestation. And, for most of my life, and let me know if you can identify with this. I was looking for others to validate me. This is huge when we're starting to make the shift, right? We look to our 3D, our external reality, to show us, to validate us, to show us that we're deserving or we're worthy. And we shift within, but then we're looking for evidence on the outside world. And although we shift and it begins to happen in bits and episodes, that shift of becoming the new person, sometimes we default back and we take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and it feels like we're stuck. You're not. You're always progressing. I want to remind you that every step is a step forward. And if you wobble, it's okay. Go easy with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and then just keep going. Release it, understand what you're feeling, what emotions are coming up. You now have awareness. I actually went through this because I was fatigued and I was mentally fatigued. And so I found myself wobbling and going back to an old story. And what I realized, and I reached out to my coach, shout out to Kim Bellis, because I do coaching with her. And she reminded me of my power, that I'm the source of my worth and my value. And I'm the operant power. And I was quickly able to shift back. And it's a reminder to you that if you have a wobble, it's okay. You have awareness and you get to practice. And like we exercise a muscle, we exercise that strength of, okay, we continue. We take ourselves back to the place of our new identity, the new version of us, the new elevated, empowered version of us that is living their most ideal life. So after I took a nap and worked out and focused on me, I was able to put myself back in the place of the empowered Patty and realize, oh, I'm just purging old beliefs. I'm purging an old story. And in my imagination, I stepped back into the reality that I live from. The confident, secured, empowered woman who loves herself, respects herself, values herself, validates herself, is deserving of an incredible life and has healthy, loving, supportive relationships. And that's where I like to operate from. So if you find yourself in a wobble, it's okay. Just bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. Listen, I was a TV news anchor for years, and I don't talk about that a lot, but for years I was a TV news anchor. And you're reading from a prompter. And whenever we stumbled from a prompter, because it happens, because you're human, and if I was a day where I was tired at work and I stumbled, I didn't like, oh my God, I stumbled and make a big crisis out of it. You know what you do? You just keep going. You pick yourself back up and keep going smoothly. And most of the time, people don't even notice. For me, it felt like, oh my God, I stumbled. And then when I went back and watched the playback, you could hardly tell. I just picked up where I was and kept going, or said, okay, and corrected myself and kept going. But if I did it with a calm manner and then just focused on the vision that I wanted, a good newscast, and kept going, then it was no big deal. And I made it no big deal. So I apply that now with all of this manifestation, conscious creation stuff. If there's a wobble, if there's something undesired that shows up that is reflecting an old version of you, an old limiting belief, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep going. Bring yourself back to center. Great, because you get to practice it. You're purging old beliefs and laugh at it. This is no longer me. This is old versions of me. This is no longer me. I no longer think like this. And you let it go. And you find something, you interrupt the pattern. Find something that makes you feel good. Interrupt the pattern and go do something else. Take a nap, do a meditation, go exercise, go on a walk, read something positive, watch a show you love that puts you in a good mood. Find whatever brings you joy, peace, passion, that puts you in a high vibrating state that has nothing to do with your manifestation, just something completely different that feels natural and good to you. And then you're able from that empowered place to make better decisions and to think yourself and believe yourself and assume yourself into a better feeling story. And you can change the story. And really, manifestation, in a nutshell, is about changing the story that we keep telling ourselves. Those internal conversations, the self talk, whatever's running through our head over and over on a daily basis. And we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. So it is practice shifting our internal conversations to, oh, this sucks. This doesn't happen to me. Nothing works out, to, I get everything I want. Everything works out for me. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You look great. People love you. You work with people who value you, and self-talking yourself into a positive story and state. And that is what the people and the circumstances around you will reflect back to you. That's law of assumption. And it ties into law of attraction, because when you're operating from a high sense of self-worth, and high sense in a high vibrating emotional state, you're resonating and vibrating and attracting more elevated, more empowered, higher circumstances and people and situations. And life is just so much easier because you're always in that high vibrational state that Abraham Hicks talks about, Bashar talks about. They all talk about the same thing, different roads to get to the same outcome, and that I talk about as well. It really came together for me with law of assumption, because I could assume the state, the identity of the person who has it, create that version of me in my mind. Who would she be? However I think she would be, however I think she would be and feel. And I feel from that place happy, safe, secure, joyous, peaceful. I have everything I want. And so think about when you finally get something you want. And I've manifested a lot of things, material things for sure, but even people, circumstances, changed relationships. People show up differently once I elevate myself. And one of the biggest things is that once it shows up, I'm like, you think it's going to be this huge shift and it's going to transform your life. It's like, okay, on to the next. So if you surrender what you want, because when you're in a state of wanting, then there is a belief, an unconscious belief within you that knows and believes that you still don't have it. But when you're like, it is what it is, it'll come. I know it's happening because I get everything I want. And you remind yourself, not out of desperation or obsession, but out of knowing and certainty, it shifts everything. And when I am least focused or worried or thinking about something I desire, I promise you that's when it shows up. It happened with followers. Like, I started this YouTube channel, zero followers. And when I got to 8 people, I was like, oh, I have 8 followers. And then I wanted to get into the thousands. And when I was checking every day and checking my following, I mean, it was barely moving. And then I got so busy doing other things and traveling that I didn't check it. And all of a sudden I'm getting followers and my videos started going viral. And then the same thing with clients. I was like, okay, I want to do clients. And, for the longest time, and I started this back in October. And I thought, I'm just going to go and post videos because my background's in journalism and talking. But I'm working with Kim on the coaching thing. And I thought, okay, well, I'll get clients because I know how this stuff worked for me and I know it works. And so if I can walk other people through this. And so when I was so focused on working with people, it's like I created roadblocks for myself. But when I just released it and got so busy and focused on something else, they came organically and naturally. The intention was there, the desire was there, and I just focused on feeling good and living my life. And that is manifestation in a nutshell. Surrendering, feeling good, and live your life, and go do something that makes you feel good, not related to the situation, not related to your SP. If you're trying to get a relationship and SP back, stop thinking and obsessing over him. Focus on you, on becoming the most ideal, amazing version of you. From that place, I promise you, you become so magnetic, you naturally attract everything you want. And things come into my life seamlessly when I'm not obsessing or focused or forcing or trying to manipulate. That you can't lie to the universe. If you're intentionally manipulating or being dishonest or forcing, it's going to come back at you 3 times. You want to make sure your intentions are genuine. And I always have to check myself because everything we put out comes back. Life is a circle. It's the law of reciprocity, law of cause and effect. So, law of thought transmission, you want to send people love, good vibes, and don't do things out of force or manipulation. And just in knowing that everything works out for you because the intention is there and you're manifesting out of your intention, not out of manipulation or force or lying or deceitfulness, right? The universe always knows your intention. Everything is vibrating, and when you're being dishonest, that's dishonesty has a vibrational frequency, and so you're vibrating with dishonesty. And so I learned this from a coach. It was Louise Hay actually, and when she was talking about people manifesting wealth, people who struggle with money, I want you to look at your life where you are not paying your bills, where you owe somebody. Like if you're taking from people and you're not paying your bills on time, well, the universe is not going to be timely with giving you wealth. So that is all circulating wealth. You want to make sure that you're immaculate with how it's just energy. That if you're not paying people, that if you're cheating people, you're being dishonest, then that's the energy that you're putting out, and that's what will come back at you. It always does. So one of the things is paying your bills on time, paying your vendors, paying your employees, paying your taxes, paying your bills. If somebody gives you over $20, you return it because the universe is going to bless you somewhere else. And so I always look at my intentions of I don't take, I just receive and I circulate and I send out my love with gratitude and I'm generous. And the universe in turn is generous with me. And I come from that energy. And when I opened myself up to that story, it opened up abundance and wealth to me in different ways, in different scenarios, even with this, like manifesting clients, manifesting followers, and just doing what I love, feeling good about coming on here and talking about this stuff. So everything starts with you. Everything starts with that shift. Always focus on how you're feeling. Focus on what makes you feel good, what's filling your soul, what's recharging you, what's filling your own cup. And if you wobble, just bring yourself back to center and keep going because you know what you're doing and you're moving in the right direction. And trust your inner compass because you know exactly what is right for you. So anyway, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Patty's World, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful, blessed day. And remember, you're absolutely worthy of manifesting all of your desires.